Welcome to Journey JavaFX. This is the season 2 episode number 14. This episode I'm planning to insert some dummy data and also populate our list view. We did this list view population in season 1, but this time is different. We are extracting data from the database instead of scanning a file folders. So yeah. I hope this episode won't take that long. Let's get right started. Okay, opened up IntelliJ. This is exactly where we left from last time. So I'm gonna remove all of this testing stuff. So now we are going to insert some dummy data. To do that, I'm going to make a copy of whatever the insert class we already have and create a kind of a new method which gonna help us to do this insert dummy data. So to do this is pretty easy. Public public static void say insert dummy data. All right, then this one will be empty. Inside of this, it will be similar like this. We're gonna say prepare statement.sql. All right, and we don't need all of these question marks for now. It's empty string. It's perfectly fine. Make it bigger. The connection this it's gonna decorate. Okay, copy paste this part because the insert dummy data is all about just the insert multiple data at one time, no big difference. So just take one more look, prepare query, execute it. Okay, to save some time, I have the query already prepared. It's kind of this thing. Basically what we are doing is just insert here is a date all in December, I mean in our current month, and some tags and some titles. You will see it once we insert them all into our database. So I'm gonna replace this part, even though it looks pretty big, but no big deal. Okay, I think it's ready to go. So I'm gonna call this method in our controller testing button. Let's say db.insert.dummy data. As simple as that. So let me go back to our database, do a cleanup. Excuse me. So now it's totally empty. We should see about 10 something records. So let's go back and run the program. Test. Nothing happened. That's correct. Let's do a refresh. Oh yeah, we have all this dummy data. All right, so it's cool. So now what we are going to do is create a query to read from our database to get all those stuff. And my goal is about populating this list view with a date in the front and then a title, kind of a title on the list, right? So in this way we're gonna see all those the header stuff, not the exact content. That's too much. In the future we're gonna populate the contents, all these fields and this HTML editor according to the selection we do on this list view, right? Okay, to do that we're gonna create a new class. Instead of insert, I'm gonna say select. IntelliJ is smart enough to change the name here. So what we're gonna do is here change the select part. So for this one we're gonna say select all because we are selecting all of them, and we don't need this part. All the rest should be the same. Okay, let me stop that testing. For select, how to prepare the query is very simple. We can utilize this, this tool to do that for us. It's more like generate a query for table. Say select, it will list out all of this, right? So then the select, we wanted to return a model.story. Now it's gonna return a list, a model.story. Yes, this is the thing we are expecting. To do that, we're gonna have a model.story. Let's say, oh, it's a list, right? So it's gonna be list model.story say stories, right? Equal to new array list. That's it. Just leave it there. And then we're gonna say return these stories in the end. So now we gotta select. Okay, so this part we don't need it. Remove it. Minimize confusing. Okay, so we're gonna copy paste in the query we get from here to a notepad. What I'm gonna do is just compress them into one line. So in this way, it's just a lot easier. Go back to our IntelliJ. I'm gonna replace this part. Okay, so here is a statement. Okay, this one will return a list. Connection is new. We also need a result set. Call it rs equal to null for now. And then in the end, we're gonna close it. Also close the rs.close. Yeah, connection is closed. Move this line up and also make a copy of it. I think the connection is closed is sufficient, but either way, just do it. rs dot is closed. Okay, so we're gonna say result set is closed. It's kind of a good habit. So then we have this, and then this one will be query, I believe. So the statement is a prepare statement. We have all of this, right? Prepared as this one, execute it. So then we're gonna have a result set, right? Because this execute query gonna return a result set. Perfect. My memory is working. So now we have this result set. What are we gonna do? We're gonna loop it through. Every single time we're gonna, create a new story object and then add them up into our stories collection, right? The list. Okay, to loop through the result set, it's quite simple. Say while rs dot next, we're gonna do this. It's a while loop. So for this one, we're gonna say model.story equals to new story model. Oh, wait. We need to find all those things. No, I was right. So dot story, like story. We already have the story. Oh, okay. We don't need to pass in this one. Yeah, equals to new model dot story, right? And this constructor we're gonna passing in. Let's say the first one is ID rs dot get get int. No, yes, get int, and we should say a column name, right? ID. Yes, that's right. So rs result set dot get. The second one is also int, and the label is date. I'm gonna explain the whole thing right after I put them in. It's quite simple to understand. So the next one will be tag get string, and say tag. The next one rs.get another string. I believe it's title. The next one is a folder, get string, folder. And next one is hours, rs.get double. Hours. And then rs.get string, HTML. And then for that content, it's okay, but yeah, either way, we just take it, not a big deal. Get string, content. Oh no, we don't need it. That was the mistake we made last time. So for now, it's sufficient. So this is the new model. Okay, let me explain this thing. Result set is more like, you know, when we run a query, in the end of the execution, we're gonna receive something, right? For example, if we run it in this GUI tool, we have this query. When we run it, it will give us all the record inside of our table, right? So all of this is gonna be a result set. A result set, it's just say, you know, in another word, result set is a collection of line of records, right? That's the nature of, that's the nature of the result set. And by saying result set dot get int, it's more like, you know, we know ID column, which is the one we select up here, right? So we know this ID field data type is a integer. So then we say result set dot get integer of this column ID, and this one will define the output of this line. The output type is an integer, right? Why we need an integer? Because our story constructor asking for an integer. Make sense? The second line is get another integer, because our date is also integer type, right? And for all the rest, it's just a lot easier to understand. You know, tag is just a string, and the title is string, folder is string, so we get string. And the hours is a double type. It has decimal, so we say we get a double, and then this line will output a double type. So then, you know, it will fit perfectly with our story constructor. And the last one is HTML. So HTML is HTML, right? It's a string. So it's like a get a string. So now we have this new model story instance for now, right? So now we're gonna add it to our list collection, which is the stories dot add. Let's say story, right? So it means for every line of record inside of our table will be represented inside of this RS. By saying next, it's more like a cursor. It's moving, you know, line by line. Each line, we're gonna do all of this. And after doing this, we're gonna save this new story object into our collection, the list. Make sense? And then this will keep going through every single line inside of the result set. And in the end, we're gonna have the list. So then we are going to return it in the end of this method. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, then we're gonna call this method inside of our controller. So we already have the dummy data, so I'm gonna just comment it out. So for now, what are we gonna do? We're gonna create a list of model.stories as a collector in our controller, right? Because we are expecting a thing like this to be received. So we're gonna call it stories again, equals to new array list. I gonna import class. You see this time IntelliJ is showing the red, and then this stories equals to our db dot select dot all. Make sense? So for now, we are going to do a quick printout. To do that, we're gonna run a stories dot for each. What's that called? Let's say s, something like this, a lambda to be fancy, you know. S out p. We're gonna print out the. Oh no, we don't need to do this s out p because our story is able to print, right? And also we want to print out s out p stories, just the stories dot size. Just see, you know, roughly how many live record we have in this collection, right? Let me say run test. All right, we have 10 records. Do we really have the 10? Yes, showing the 10, right? Let me run again, just to be precise. 10. So our method is working. And now we are going to populate this list stories to our list view, right? Let me do a dummy one. Let's say list view. Oh, we don't have it yet? Seriously? Yeah, we don't have it yet. So, okay, then just create one. fxml public. This one is a list view. Let's say inside of it it's gonna be string. Let's call it list view. What's the name for it? Stories. All right. It may be a little confusing, but yeah. And then I just close it first. Go back to our theme builder. Assign this thing to our variable. So now both are connected. What we're gonna do is just take a look at what exactly this list view takes. Set items. Okay, so it's asking for observable list, right? We are going to do something like this because now we have the story list. Basically, we don't need all of them to be populated on our list view, right? The first one, we need a date. So how about we just create a dummy one? Let's say list. This one will be string as a holder for that view. Let's say just say list. And equals to new array list, and this for okay, so for each, this time lambda may not work. We can keep using it. Story dot for each, let's say story, right? For this one, we're gonna do something like for each story, the list dot add story dot story dot get int date. Why it's like this? Probably we cannot do it in this way. Oh, dot to string. Sorry about that. Okay, now it's working. So we have the list for now. We're gonna convert it into observable list. String. Let's say ob list equals to fx collection, I believe. Dot observable list, and instead of this, we're gonna pass in this, you know, list. Why is like that? list. Seriously? Observable list? This one. Okay, no idea why it behaves like that. That was not expected. Okay, so now we are going to set this observable list to our list view dot set items. It's gonna be OB list, right? So now when we click on that button, we are expecting Populate. Yeah, look at that, it works. Okay, so now we are going to do something about it. Remember the dates, right? In this way, it's just slightly harder to see, and also the format doesn't match it, right? We're gonna do some tweak about it. So to int, what function we have? My date stuff. Int from WebMD get this int. That's the opposite. No, we don't have it yet. Let's create a new one. It's quite simple. Yeah, basically just copy paste this part. This one local date. Okay, we are going to return a string. Yeah, copy the method here. Make a new line. Let's say this one will be string. Get string date from int date. Make sense? Okay, so this one gonna be a string. This one gonna be an int. All right, that will be easy. Okay, so string like this, we're gonna say int date dot to string first, right? And then we're gonna do something like this. This date. What's that said? No, it's kind of str dot substring 0 4, right, plus str dot substring 4 to 6, I remember correctly, plus str dot substring 6, right? And then we're gonna put a dash between them, right? This will give us a kind of a proper formatting. All right, then we save it. So copy paste this part, go back to our controller. So here, right here, let's say my dot data stuff dot get string date from int date, right? So this one we're gonna passing in the int portion. We don't need this toString. All right, let's test it. Okay. Yeah, now it's much better. For this one, we want to present it in reverse order. To do that, it's quite simple. We don't need to change our code. We just update this query, right? Say order by what? Date. DSC means descending, right? We just need to plug in this part into our query. We can test it. Yeah, it's kind of, descending order by date. So going back to IntelliJ, go to select all right here. Plug it in. Perfect. So now let's do it again. It should show up in that way. Yeah, look at that. It's all in descending order, right? That's cool. So now we need to plug in another portion as the the title part. So let's add this part. That will be easy. Just to say plus do we need a sign? Probably a space. Give it more space. Plus story.getTitle. Yeah, by adding this, we're gonna see that test. Perfect. All right, I think we did all of it. It's just to plug in one more thing. The reason is like, you know, it's the lesson I learned while I was prototyping. I'm gonna do a little cheat on it. Say some space and plus stories.getID, because we need the ID to select the data, and then based on the ID, select the data to populate our other fields, right? So this one is very important, and my workaround is like this, and also say a lot of tab. Okay, let's do it now and see how it looks like. Okay, it's still working. So the ID is like this. I'm gonna say plus another one, kind of a number sign here. Get id.int to string to be specific. Okay, test. Okay, they are already there. So then what I'm gonna do is, because you know it looks slightly ugly because we don't want to see these numbers, right? And my workaround is this. I'm gonna put in a lot of tabs. So then, you know, the thing will be hidden far away to the right. You see, it's not there. But if we really want to see it, we just, you know, scroll to the right. Okay, I think we did the thing we planned. But yeah, it's over than 27 minutes. It's super long. I will see you guys in the next one.